I said I'll be sharing the screen as we study on international organizations, national economic organizations. So, but before we move on, we have to really look at why the need for formation of these organizations. Why do they need to be in existence, or what caused them to be formed? So there was what is known as the Great Depression in the 1930s. So during that Great Depression, there were some steps taken in order to alleviate the depression, and this led to the formation of most of the organizations, which I'm going to bring up again now. So the topic, like I said, is international economic organizations. So let me bring up the notebook. So, following the serious economic conditions encountered worldwide during Great Depressions of 1930s, then political leaders in both developed and less developed countries recognize that no country is free from poverty until every country is free from poverty. No country is free from poverty until every country is free from poverty. Hence, there is this desire to promote the economic well-being of their people, coupled with the realization that trade and economic cooperation can be an important stimulus to rapid economic growth. And this is why most of the organizations were formed. Let me see this. I want to try and make the screen to take 2 notes. So here. So you can see the screen now, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we said because of the belief that no country is free from poverty until every country in the world is free from poverty, then we have the desire to promote the economic well-being of people everywhere. And once they realize that trade and economic cooperation can be an important factor that will aid rapid economic growth. So this led to establishment of a number of international and regional organizations immediately after the World War II in 1939 to 1945. So we'll be looking at these organizations one after the other. So the first one, we'll be looking at the ECOWAS. So ECOWAS, meaning Economic Community of West African countries, Economic Community of West African country, ECOWAS. So let me bring up the details. Bearing the screen now. So like I said, the first one we're looking at is ECOWAS, and so ECOWAS was formed I said it's economic community of West African states.
West African country.
Yes. So ECOWAS was formed by 15 West African countries under the Treaty of Lagos on 28 May 1975. So the community has 15 members: the Republic of Benin, Ghana, Burkina Faso, Cape Verde, Guinea, Guinea-Bissau, Cote d'Ivoire, Liberia, Mali, Gambia, Niger, Nigeria, Senegal, Sierra Leone, and Togo. So ECOWAS was established primarily to promote cooperation and development between member countries in all fields of economic activity. And they have some basic goals which will be itemized or listed as follows. They have some basic goals. First one is to promote free trade between member countries through gradual reduction of tariff and other non-tariff barriers. So let me go. So talking about their objectives. So the number one objective is to promote free trade between member countries through gradual reduction of tariffs and other non-tariff barriers, NTBs. Then to eliminate obstacles restricting the free movement of persons, of services, and capital between member countries. Then the third one is to establish common tariff structure and commercial policy towards non-member countries. So let me bring this to another time. So that is that there. Then number 4, the fourth objective is to harmonize the agricultural policies and promotion of common products within the community, and especially in the fields of marketing, fields of research, and agricultural businesses. I want to make this. So, then the next one is to promote joint development of transport, communication, development of energy, and infrastructural facilities. That's why you see countries going into agreement or treaty with another country to do joint development of transport, communication, energy, and infrastructure. Then the next one is to harmonize industrial and monetary policies of member countries. Also to establish funds for the purpose of promoting and financing development projects, as well as to provide compensation to member states that may suffer losses as a result of trade liberalization within the community. So those are the aims and objectives why ECOWAS was formed. So member countries of ECOWAS stand to derive some benefits similar to that of the European Union in its objective. However, the community is facing a number of problems which prevent it from making significant impact, and we're going to look at the problems now. Problems facing the ECOWAS, or problems that ECOWAS facing. So like I said many members countries of ECOWAS stand to derive benefits similar to that of the European Union if its objectives are vigorously pursued. However, the community is facing a number of problems which prevent it from making significant impact on the economies of the member countries. And these problems are what we are going to look at in a few minutes. So the there's three problems there. So the first problem they are encountering is that the low level of trade among member countries as a result of similarity of product. That is, there is low level of trade among the member countries since maybe because of their geographical zone, most of their products are similar. So all countries in West Africa, except Nigeria to some extent, depend heavily on their agricultural sector. So immobility of factors of production between the countries due to poor infrastructural facilities coupled with language barrier is another problem. Then closer socio-economic ties with a former colonial administrator. It is difficult for the community to adopt discriminatory tariff policies that could have adverse consequences on the economy of such countries like UK, France, and Portugal. So even if UK, France, and Portugal that were formerly the colonial masters of these countries, if they are going by something that will not be of benefit, then they cannot, adopt discriminatory tariff policy against them. So these are part of the problems that is facing the ECOWAS community. Another problem is another problem we can see here is how to distribute benefits of integration and compensate countries with loss or loss in revenue due to abolition of tariffs. Because if you abolish tariff because you're a member of a community, you abolish tariff because you are in the same community, then where should the profit come from? The profit you would have made from the tariffs. Then the differences in social, monetary, and commercial policies of member countries constitute a major obstacle to international trade and joint investment programs. Then the next thing, which is the last thing we're looking at there, is disparities in the level of socio-economic activities and fear of domination by some countries. So, like a country that is a member might go against the common principles. So this is another problem that is facing the community. So having looked at ECOWAS, another organization, international organization that we have to look at is African Union, AU, African Union. So talking about African Union, African Union is a continental union consisting of 55 member states located on the continent of Africa. So the AU was announced in declaration in Sirte, Libya on 9 September 1999, calling for the establishment of the African Union. So the bloc was founded on 26th of May 2001 in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, and launched on 9th July 2002 in Durban, South Africa. So this is African Union there. So there are intentions, like I said before, there are intentions or purposes or reasons for why the organization. So the intention of the AU was to replace the Organization of African Unity that was established on the 25th of May in Addis Ababa by 32 signatory governments. Let me bring that one out. Okay. See. So, like I said, so the aim was to replace the OAU, which is Organization of African Unity, established on 25th of May 1913 in Addis Ababa by 32 signatory governments. The OAU was established on the AU was established on 9th July 2002. So the most important decisions of the AU are made by the Assembly of the African Union and a semi-annual meeting of the heads of states and governments of its member states. So the AU Secretariat, which is the African Union Commission, is based in Addis Ababa. So these are things to know about the AU. So the objectives now, looking at the objectives of the African Union. So the objectives, number one objective is to achieve greater unity, greater cohesion, and greater solidarity between African countries and African nations. To achieve greater unity, cohesion, and solidarity between the countries. Then to defend the sovereignty, to defend the territorial integrity and independence, defend the independence of its member states. Then to accelerate the political and socio-economic integration of the continent of Africa as a whole, and also to promote and defend African common position on issues of interest to the continent and to its people. So those are part of the objectives, and there are other objectives to look at. So as we move on, why African Union was established. So more objectives include to encourage international cooperation, taking due account of the character of the United Nations and the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, and to promote peace, security, and stability on the continent, to promote democratic principles and democratic institutions, to promote popular participation and in governance and to promote good governance. So to promote and protect human and people's rights in accordance with African character on human and people's rights and other relevant human rights instruments. So these are part of the aims and objectives or the goals of establishing African Union. Meanwhile, the goal still continues to see. Let's see. Right. So the next one is to establish the necessary conditions which enable the continent Africa to play its rightful role in the global economy and in international negotiations, even between other continents, and to promote sustainable development at the economic, social, and cultural levels, as well as the integration of African economies. Then to promote cooperation in all fields of human activities to raise the standard of living of African people, African community, for the gradual, to coordinate and harmonize the policies between the existing and future regional economic communities for gradual attainment of the objectives of African Union. Then, second and last one is to advance the development of the continent by promoting research in all fields, in particular in science and technology. Then lastly, to work with relevant international partners in the eradication of preventable diseases and promotion of good health on the continent. So if there is any, they have to work on how to prevent outbreak of virus or viral infection of diseases on the continent. So those are part of the goals, or those are the goals of the African Union. Meanwhile, those are the immediate goals. They still have some future goals. AU's future goal include the creation of free trade area, a customs union, a single market, a central bank, and a common currency. They are still working towards this too, so that the whole African country will be spending just one currency all across. But right now, you agree with me that we are yet to get there, right?
Yes, sir.
So we've not started spending one currency. We don't have a single market yet, but that is what they want to achieve as part of their goals, future goals, which include creation of free trade area, creation of customs union, then a single market and a central bank that will cut across the whole of Africa, just like we have World Bank, and a common currency, thereby establishing economic and monetary union. So the current plan is to establish an African economic community with a single currency. You know, this was supposed to be in extent by this year 2023, before the end of the year, or probably in next year.
Yeah.
And yes, by this 2020, we are still in 2022 anyway. So by 2023, my so the African Union faces many challenges, including health issues such as combating malaria and the HIV/AIDS epidemic, then also political issues such as confronting undemocratic regimes and mediating in the many civil wars. Economic issues such as improving the standard of living of millions of impoverished, uneducated Africans, then ecological issues such as dealing with recurring famines, desertification, and lack of ecological sustainability, as well as the legal issues regarding Western Sahara. So these are most of the challenges that is facing the African Union. So having spoken about African Union, you need to be familiar with the European Union as well. You know, talking about the European Union, the African Union. So what do we have to learn about the EU now? So the European Union EU was originally established by the European Economic Community (EEC) on 25th March 1957 by the Treaty of Rome, agreed to by the governments of Belgium, France, and Federal Republic of Germany, Italy, Luxembourg, and the Netherlands. So the EEC came into operation on January 1958 and was renamed EU, which is the European Union, in November 1993. So by 2006, the membership had increased to 25, including the United Kingdom, Denmark, Ireland, Greece, Spain, Portugal, Sweden, Austria, and Finland that joined between 1933 and 1995. So they have their own economic objectives as well, which includes to promote free trade, just like the African Union as well, I would say. So let's bring up the objectives now. The objectives of the European Union. So the objective of the European Union are thus: number one, to promote free trade between member countries through the removal of tariffs and other non-tariff barriers to free trade. Then to harmonize the trade policies of members by ensuring that members impose tariffs on imports from non-member countries at the same rate. Then to guarantee common internal price level and promote stabilization of farmers' income by penalizing imported food items through Common Agricultural Policy (CAP). Then to encourage free movement of factors of production, especially labor and capital within the community, and to harmonize the tax systems of member countries with a view to removing any hidden barriers to trade. And number six is to integrate the monetary system of member countries so as to facilitate the expansion of bilateral trade between member countries, that there will be smooth trading between the member countries. Then to promote common regional policy through the establishment of regional development fund, the EU is to ensure that no member of the institution is left to suffer economic depression. That's why you see them issuing bailout funds to members in case of there is any unforeseen. Then to develop common transport policy, and lastly to create new world economic order. New World Economic Order, an agreement with development countries. So they believe they can create economic order for the whole world, not only for the European countries. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so a number of institutions, organizations, and funds were established, as well as common economic policies adopted to promote realization of the objectives that were mentioned above. So we're going to look at them in a few steps. So, the major achievements of the EU from the standpoint of the impact of various actions on the economies of the member countries include: number one, the EU promotes specialization among member countries such that each member tends to specialize in their line of comparative cost advantage. And what does that mean? They promote specialization such that if it is grain that is good that your country can produce in, that will be of cost advantage to you, then they allow that country to deal in grain. If it is leather that your country is good in, they allow. If it's automobile, if it's this, so they promote what is called specialization. That's production specialization among member countries, so that each member tends to specialize in their line of comparative cost. So this leads to efficient utilization of productive resources. It leads to greater output and improved standard of living within the sub-region. So I'll bring out the next one. So the further achievement, the EU provides a large market for the products of member countries. So they don't leave the member countries to worry about where to export to. They provide large markets for the products of member countries. This encourages large-scale production with its concomitant economies of scale, and that is, makes them to be committed to the particular production and increase employment opportunities in that area. So the removal of quotas and tariff leads to keener competition in the larger market. This leads to the effective resource allocation, as a result of which factors of production receive higher incomes. Then the EU has been relevant to the development aspirations of countries in West African sub-region under the Yaoundé Lomé Convention in the following ways. So we are going to look at that now. So in the following ways: number one, financing rural electrification projects. And number two, they have been able to provide grants to improve health facilities. Number three, they have been able to encourage industrial cooperation through the transfer of technology and funding research programs to boost industrial activities. And the Lomé Convention is a series of trade and economic cooperation, an agreement between the EU and the countries from the African, Caribbean, and Pacific states, ACP, African, Caribbean, and Pacific states. So having looked at the ECOWAS country, having looked at the African Union, having looked at the European Union, there are other bodies that we need to look at. Look at a few before we round up on the class. The next one is IMF. Have you heard of IMF before?
No.
Okay, IMF is International Monetary Fund. International Monetary Fund. As the name sounds, they deal with funding. Let me bring that out. So International Monetary Fund, IMF, referred to as the fund, is an autonomous international financial institution established in 1945 under the Bretton Woods Agreement in 1944. Thus, it is a sister institution of the International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, IBR. So they have their objective as well, according to the Constitution 2001 of this agreement. So let's look at their objectives one after the other. So the objectives of the IMF is number one, to promote international monetary cooperation through a permanent institution that provides the machinery for consultation and collaboration on international monetary problems. Then number two is to facilitate the expansion and balanced growth of international trade and to contribute thereby to the promotion and maintenance of high levels of employment and real income. And the third objective is to promote exchange rate stability, to maintain orderly exchange arrangements among members, and to discourage competitive currency devaluation, to assist in the establishment of multilateral system of payment in respect to the current transactions and in the elimination of foreign exchange restrictions which hamper the growth of world trade. So these are part of the goals of the IMF in about 4 years. I agree. So, but there are other goals, there are other objectives. There is another one which is to help member countries overcome their balance of payment difficulties. They help member countries to put that down here. So, to help member countries to overcome their balance of payment difficulties through the provision of short to medium term credit and technical guidance. So countries are able to get funds through IMF.
Sir.
Yes.
Like in these organizations now, like the one that Nigeria is in ECOWAS.
Yes.
So does that mean that the money they get, the money they bring into the countries from that organization?
Not really. The money, the organization actually helps them in terms of their importation and exportation. They regulate importation and they encourage exportation. You understand? And they help them also to provide a market for their products. But for a country that depends largely on importation, so the community will not be able to assist much because you are always importing. So they will provide your own country as a market to others. Meanwhile, they are not providing market for you because you are not giving them what you have to sell. You understand?
Okay.
Yeah. So, but countries, that doesn't mean countries cannot go out on their way to source for funds elsewhere. Their own is just in addition to whatever means the country has.
Okay.
Yeah. So that put up that number 5. Then the next round up is still on the IMF. So the IMF introduced special drawing rights in 1917 to facilitate the expansion and balance growth of world trade. And this SDR is an international financial asset designed to supplement gold, dollars, and convertible currencies in settling international debt between countries. So most countries now use their allocation of SDRs, which are mere book entries when they face balance of payment. So those are things to know about it. But there are other things to look at before we go still under IMF. The benefits that member countries can derive from IMF. So after this, we round up this session. So the benefits derived by developing member countries, including West African countries, from their membership of the IMF include signing of agreement with the fund for standby facilities worth millions of dollars, which boosted their creditworthiness in international trade, and the use of the SDR's application to solve their balance of payment and reserve problems. And manpower development efforts of member countries have been complemented by the fund by this IMF through training courses provided on economic and financial matters. And lastly, the IMF on a regular basis conducts studies on member countries' economies and recommends necessary reform measures to improve the growth performance. But if they recommend necessary measures for a country does not use it, and there is repercussion, it cannot help such countries out beyond recommendation. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we're going to be rounding up the economics class on this. And I'll get ready for the English class soon. All right.
Okay, sir.
Our words, synonyms are words that are similar in meaning. So I'll be giving you some questions now, some sentences. Then with words on the line, you'll be looking at the nearest meaning in the word that's in the line. So I'm sharing this screen with you right away. So here is the first one. Can you read the sentence?
She bows to no one because of her dignity and pride.
Okay, what is the correct answer there? Yes. The A, B, or C, or D?
A.
A, she said self-confidence. So that is correct. Here comes the second one.
The ray from the rising sun shines splendidly through our kitchen windows.
Yes.
Magnificently.
Magnificently. That is correct. So that is what nearest meanings. So the next one.
John was so hungry he didn't feel a single particle of muffin on the plate.
Yes.
A small piece.
Small piece. That is correct. So the next one.
Jane elegantly dressed in the prom. Everyone has to look at her.
Yes. So what's that? That should be gracefully, elegantly, gracefully. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now the next one.
Jack thought that it was a great injustice that girls could wear earrings in the school while boys could not.
Yes. So which option do you go for?
Prejudice.
Prejudice. Yes, that's correct. Because number one is talking about not being fair, right?
Yes, sir.
So and all the three options are not talking about not being fair.
Yes, sir.
Okay, the next one.
His interest in the project was declined after his wife passed away. His interest in the project has went down.
Went down. That's correct. So the next one.
After a long period of work, Kevin wanted to find a peaceful corner in his room where he could feel like paradise to take a rest.
Yes, what's your answer?
Paradise.
Paradise. That's correct. Because all the other three, they are not there. Okay, what's the next one?
Even though John has a good job and a nice family, he yearned for more.
Yes.
Crave.
Crave for more. Yes.
He consumes huge amounts of bread with every meal. eats.
Eats. Consume based. Okay.
Most athletes have to stay in physical shape to they seldom so they seldom eat junk food. Scarcely.
Scarcely. That is seldom. Okay. Yeah.
He he climbed up when I he climbed
He
up
climbed
when I
up.
asked her
Yes.
he climbed up when I asked her about her ex-boyfriend. Maybe she didn't want to talk. Maybe she didn't want to talk about it. Muted.
Muted. That's correct. So the next one.
It was peculiar to see nobody in the school, even though it was Tuesday. Mysterious.
Weird. That is, it was abnormal to see nobody in school, even though it was Tuesday, not a Saturday. Okay.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Now,
If you are more if you are more creative than others in the company, you are not you are an outcast.
mhm,
Stranger.
stranger. That's correct. So the next one.
While others eat luxurious and expensive food, Mike is content with a piece of toast and no glass of orange juice and a
Okay.
glass of orange juice.
Okay.
Satisfied.
Satisfied. That's correct. So,
We could barely understand what John was saying because he was just mumbling all the time.
mm,
Mumbling.
mumbling. That's correct. Yes.
Because he has such good friends and family, Malcolm considered himself fortunate, lucky.
Lucky. So, when you use unfortunate, means unlucky.
Yes.
Yes.
Dad doesn't want his broken air conditioner anymore, so he thinks of discarding it,
Hmm?
throwing away.
Throwing away. So,
It is feared that people living near the power stations may have been exposed to radiation.
okay.
Contacted.
Contacted. That's correct. Number 19.
Having been working for hours without stopping, he suddenly collapsed, broke down.
He actually fell ill. Oh, fell ill. No, it's cars that will break down. Yes or no?
Yes, sir. I'm satisfied with our deal. Content.
On. Okay. We just end the first session. So very soon I'll share the second session to people right here. I'll be sharing the screen with you now. Confession. All right, here is the first question. Yeah, same thing, similar in meaning.
They just showed compassion for the old woman but penalized the young thief with great
Severity.
severity. He just showed pity.
Pity. It's correct. Yes.
The manager was determined in his decision to close the company.
Yes.
High-handed.
Okay, it's resolute. When you talk about your resolution, your decision, your make up point, you've made up your mind, okay?
Okay.
Yes, next.
He has shown great enthusiasm in the approach to his work. Willingness.
It's actually zeal, enthusiasm, okay?
Okay, sir.
Yes.
It is your sense of industry which will propel you towards success.
Yes, what's your answer
Diligent.
there? That's correct. Yes.
All your inconsiderable actions have agitated most of the workers in the company. Angered.
Anger, that's correct. Yes.
I find that there is a decline or a breakdown in sound values and morality in
Most affluent society.
affluent societies. Developed.
Okay, it's wealthy. When you talk about affluence, talking about wealth. Okay,
Yes.
talk about affluence or wealth. Okay,
I know you'll be impartial in dealing with the controversial matter. Prejudicial.
okay, it's actually objective. When you are prejudicial or you engage in prejudice, that means you are partial. But this one says, I know you will be impartial. And if you are not impartial, not that you are indifferent, but you are objective. You are facing the matter not based on bias or anything.
The teacher demanded strict adherence to the rules of the school and punished those who resisted them.
Yes.
Conformity.
Conformity. That's correct. Conformity. So, next one.
With great reluctance, he divulged the secret plan to join another team.
It divulged
It divulged
the secret plan to join another team. Okay.
he revealed.
That's correct. Reveal. To divulge something means to reveal. So,
Good eating and exercise will help to lengthen your life. Prolong.
okay, that's correct. Prolong. Yes.
During this period of crisis, we expect your counsel in making decisions.
Yes.
Advice.
Advice. Next.
Your indolence has certainly frustrated all your friends. Immaturity.
It's actually sluggishness, laziness. Indolence means laziness. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So next.
This restaurant always
Boast.
boasts of their
Delicious
delicious
buffet. Buffet dinners.
nutritious.
Sumptuous. Okay.
Okay, sir.
And you're not talking about the nutritional value, but you're talking about that, oh, it is delicious. And not everything delicious is of high nutritional value, right?
Yes, sir.
For example, you can take fruits, you can take cucumber, you can take all of. So, do you taste cucumber? Does it have any delicious taste?
No.
But here, this person is talking about delicious, so talking about sumptuousness of the taste of. Okay, yes.
In matters relating to your country, your sense of loyalty is always respected. Your sense of dedication.
All right, it is patriotism because as a citizen, you're expected to be a patriot. Yes or no to be patriotic, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Next.
We have an ample supply of food for this journey. Enormous.
Okay. Ample simply means adequate. Okay.
Okay.
And not if you're talking about somebody have an ample knowledge or some damn adequate knowledge. It's not lacking, it's not too much, it's not enormous, it's not unlimited, it's not entire. So, next one.
As soon as the water subsides, I am going outdoors to find out.
Okay.
Settles.
It's lessons.
Lessons.
When it's reduced, yes, lessons. When it reduces. So the next one.
She had not expected such a ferocious sound. Loud.
Loud would have been okay, but because it's ferocious, talking about fierce, the fierceness of something. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Next one.
The house looked grey and unfamiliar, and I had it for the stretch of kerosene lanterns and the lack of air. Strange.
Strange, that's correct. Yes.
Clouds still towered menacingly about the
Menacingly.
sky.
Yeah, menacingly about the sky.
Darkly.
Okay, it's threateningly. You know, when you talk about a menace, something that threatens you. Okay?
Okay.
Threatening. Yes, last one there.
Tons of rain deluged the town.
Yes, deluged. Wow.
Flooded.
That's correct. So, I'll stop sharing the screen then I'll come for the last stage of this left side, okay? I'll be sharing it with you right now. On the screen. So the third stage. So, okay, so I'm sharing this right now. I think that this one talk about and okay, now I think I've found. So it's still on similar in meaning, but now it might include a group of words instead of maybe only one word. Is that taken?
Yes, sir.
So then, yeah. So okay, here's the first question then. I take off my heart. I take off my hat. I mean, I take my hat off to all those people who work hard to get a contract. So why?
I take respect.
Respect. That is correct. Respect. The next question there.
It drove so fast that I really felt my life was in danger. At stake.
That's correct. Straight. Yes.
They decided to postpone their journey to the end of the month because of the epidemic. Put up.
Put off. That's correct. The next one.
He was one of the most out staff at the live show last night. Impressive.
Impressive. Outstanding performance. Yes.
He drives me to the edge because he never stops talking. Irritates me.
Irritates. Yes. Next one.
I think we can safely say now that we have got our money back. We are home and dry. We have been successful.
Yeah, we'll be successful. That means mission accomplished. Here's the next one.
The aircraft carrier is indispensable in naval operations against sea and shore-based enemies. Unique.
Yeah, it's vital. I talk about something that is indispensable, something you cannot do without. Okay?
Yes,
Yes.
at times I look at him and wonder what is going on in his mind. Sometimes,
Sometimes. That's correct. Yes.
what a lovely baby. He certainly resembles his father, doesn't he? Takes
Mm-hmm.
up.
Takes up. Takes up. Okay. Next one.
The medical community continues to make progress in the fight against cancer. Do better.
Do better. Yes, next one.
Peter didn't mean to be disrespectful to his teacher. He just couldn't control his temper. Impolite, showing impolite behavior.
Yeah, showing like. Mm-hmm.
When being interviewed, you should concentrate on what the interviewer is saying or asking you. Pay all attention to.
Pay all attention to. Yes.
My elder brother failed his final exam, which depressed my parents. Disappointed.
Disappointed. That's correct. Yes.
I came to John Park last night, but I stayed there for a while before I left.
Okay.
For a short period of time.
For a short period of time. Super. The next one.
She was a devoted teacher. She spent most of her time teaching and taking care of her students. Dedicated.
Dedicated. Yes.
You can withdraw money from the account at any time without penalty. Punishment.
Punishment. Then the next one.
Life on earth is disappearing fast and will continue to do so unless urgent action is taken.
Okay.
Vanishing.
Vanish. That's correct. Then.
Currently, there are more deaths in the United States than at any other time in our history. At present.
At present. Present. Okay. Next one.
He was asked to account for his presence at the scene of the crime. Explain.
Explain. Yeah, that's correct. Okay. Rounding up for English session. Next one.
It is very
Discautious.
to intrude during someone's conversation. Interrupt.
Interrupt. That's correct. 21.
In a certain time of poisoning, you should immediately give large quantities of soapy or salty water in order to include vomiting.
In order to do what? In order to
Induce
do.
vomiting.
Okay. Your options?
Cause.
Cause. That's it. Well, when you induce something, that means you're generating. There's the last one there.
It is useless to attempt to free from everything that some risks must be taken.
Okay.
Run away.
Run away. Now let me ask this question before we move on. Just two questions. The first one, to pronounce something. So can you spell pronunciation?
Yes.
Spell it. I'm not hearing you. You are not speaking out again. You start again and speak out. I'm not even hearing you at all. And I was hearing you clearly before. I'm not hearing you. Yes, I think you should speak now.
P-R-E.
I mean pronunciation.
I know. You said I should spell it right.
Yes.
Okay. P-R-E. N-O-U-N. C-I-H-C-I-O-N.
Okay. Let me show you something. Pronunciation. Now, can you see this?
No, I'm not seeing anything.
You're not seeing the screen, right?
I'm not seeing.
Are you seeing the screen?
I'm not seeing anything.
Okay, hold on. Let me share it again. I'm going to share it again. So can you see the screen now?
Yes.
Okay. Now spell pronunciation.
P-R-O-N-U-N. C-I-H-C-I-O-N.
So what is shocking to you in this spelling? The word. The word.
The letter O.
The letter O. Was it there initially? No. But you think it should be there, right?
Yes.
But it's not there. It was never there. Okay? For every one of us, maybe when we were learning, we thought it should be there. So it's pronunciation, not pronunciation. Okay? Is that okay? Is that okay? Your voice. Okay, let me play.
Pronunciation.
Did you hear the sound now?
Pronunciation.
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 Now the next question I want to ask you, which is the last one for round of the English session. Are you ready? What is the meaning of the word presently? Presently. 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 What do you think it means? If I say I am eating my food presently, what does it mean? In fact, your voice is not coming out again.
Are you hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing you now. What does it mean? It means at that moment. Okay, let's check it out. Now, let's see something here. Presently can mean at the present time. Are you with me? which is what you have said.
Yes, sir.
But it also means after a short time, which means soon. Okay?
Yes.
Which means soon or shortly, presently.
Okay.
So if I say this will be examined in more detail presently, I mean it will be examined in more detail soon. So you have learned two new things today, Abby, apart from the other.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. So we're going to come online very soon for the other class, okay?
Okay, sir.
So just stay tuned there. We're going to shortly we're going to look at how to prevent military takeover in a country, or how to prevent military venturing into politics. So let me share the screen and bring out the topic. The factors that prevent military from venturing into politics. Try. Yes, and we said there are factors, there are things that might happen that can cause military to take over. So that is what we want to look at now. It's also part of the question that used to come out in a government class. Government exam. So military intervention refers to the situation where the military move out of their barracks and take over political power from their civilian counterparts. And normally, this is done through a coup d'etat, or you call it coup, or it's coup d'etat. So it's a military intervention refers to the situation where the military move out of their barracks. So they move out of their barracks and take over political power from their civilian counterparts. So normally this is done through a coup d'etat. So in recent years, coup d'etats have not been popular, but the risk of military adventure still truncating the democratic fortunes of West Africa in particular, and Africa in general, not to be underestimated. So anything can still happen within this week. Anything can happen. So there are several factors that can be used to prevent military from usurping power from the civilian, and that is what we want to practically look at today. That's what we want to practically look at. That is the factors that how we can prevent military from usurping power in the system of the country. So let me try and bring that up. I have to clear the screen before I bring this video. So there are several factors that can be used to prevent military from usurping power from the civilian. Ways of preventing military from power. So number one, education of soldiers. The military men must be educated to know the role they are expected to play in democratic dispensation to find themselves in. Soldiers must be told that their role is to protect the country in times of any external aggression and not to interfere in the governance of the state. So this can confine them to their barracks. So they should know that this is their own duty, but not to interfere. Sorry, you can unmute. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we're going to look at more ways of preventing. Next one is legislation. Legislation to prevent military from taking over. The constitution of the land must make any involvement in a military coup a punishable offense with very severe terms of imprisonment. like extradition and so on. So any military officer who is therefore caught attempting to overthrow the government of the day must be made to face the rigors of the law, and this includes death penalty. Okay, is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the next
Yes,
point,
sir.
the next point we will look at there is willingness to relinquish power. If let's say come 2023 now there is voting and there is an election, and let's assume it is not yet, maybe the incumbent current president has not yet done 2 terms, maybe he has done just 1 term, and after losing during the second term he refused to relinquish power, then there might be uproar in the community or in the country, and that might lead to military intervention. So the political leaders of various countries, especially African countries, must be willing to take a bow after they have exhausted their terms of office. They should not try to cling to power at all costs when it is time to go. It is the unwillingness of civilian politicians to leave office that create room for military adventurers to try to usurp power. So if you are asked to explain that in exam, I believe you know what to say, right?
Yes.
Then the next one that can prevent military is what we call periodical elections. Periodical elections, unlike what we have in Nigeria, some African countries. So periodical elections, the government of the day must allow free, fair, and credible elections periodically. This will imprint in the minds of the people that no matter their conditions, there will come a time for them to attempt a change of governance through the ballot box and not through gun or military or coup d'etat. So it is the absence of such opportunities that attract people to venture into taking power by the barrel of the gun. So is that taking?
Yes, sir. But sir,
Yes.
do military people engage in elections?
No. They are not. They can, but it is not part of their jurisdiction. They are just there as to protect. So like a police or whatever, any government that the government of the day is who they work for. You understand?
Okay.
Or they actually
Yes,
can
sir.
exercise that right.
Okay.
So and next one, looking at is fight against corruption. Against corruption. One of the ways to prevent the military from coming to power is to fight corruption and is to eschew corruption, to stay away from corruption. Many times, when the military comes to power, they accuse the civilian counterparts of corrupt practices. Therefore, once the civilians are able to fight corruption, the soldiers will not have any grounds to come into office by the use of violence. Yeah, is that taken?
Yes, sir.
And the next one we're looking at is the condition of service for soldiers. Just like we mentioned about legislation the other day. So this one is condition of service for. So the civilian government must ensure that the military operate under a very good condition of service. The military must not be made to lack any of the accoutrements they need to properly function in their office. Also, their remuneration must be attractive so that we can keep them in their barracks and not put another thing to them. Then the next way by which we can ensure that the military stay off power is adequate security. Let's see about that. Adequate security. So about adequate security, the government of the day must ensure that there is adequate security for the protection of government of the day. That is, they must protect themselves. Any loopholes in the national security must be plugged so that it's not exploited by the soldiers to overthrow civilian governments. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Now, well, if if all of the measures that we have discussed have been put in place, then it will prevent soldiers from taking over the political affairs of the state by force of the arms. And you can, we say existence. There, another one is existence of democratic principle, and practices. When you practice democratic principle, when you follow democratic way of governance, and you don't violate such, then soldiers also. So in summary, let's bring up what we have been saying so far for the questions. In summary, what we are saying is that ways of preventing military intervention in politics, that is, ways of preventing coup d'etat, existence of democratic principles and practices, eradication of corruption, conduct of periodic free and fair elections, fair distribution of natural resources, because these are the things that can lead to agitation and is going to cause civil unrest in the nation. Then suppression of tribalism, nepotism, and favoritism. Then good condition of service for the soldiers, for the military, for the soldiers. So good condition of service for soldiers.
See,
soldiers,
we
right?
all the soldiers.
Yes, that is correct. Okay, D is twice there
Yes.
for the soldiers. Then we have proper civic education for soldiers on their role. That's what we first mentioned in the other time. Then provision of adequate security for governance themselves, for the government themselves, and willingness of incumbent rulers to relinquish power. Then legislation against coup d'etat, that is, there should be law that guide against coup d'etat. Also, there should be political and civil education for citizens as well. So these are ways of preventing military intervention So, but talking about military intervention, we can quickly look at what is coup d'etat. Yes, what is coup d'etat?
This is a way military eliminates the civilian government in power. Like killing.
Yes. So we say coup d'etat is it's also known as coup or overthrow. It's a seizure and removal of the government and its powers. Typically, it's an illegal seizure of power by political faction, politician, cult, rebel group, military, or a dictator. So let me get that up. Good that. So those are the terms you must be familiar with. So we say coup d'etat, also known as coup, is the overthrow, seizure, or removal of government and its power. So it is illegal seizure of power by a political faction through the use of force. The politician or court or rebel group, military, or a dictator, and they seize power and remove the government and the forces of the government. So that's good. So coup d'etat is in Nigerian history. Yes. What can you say? Well, has there been a coup d'etat before, and was it successful?
The time of Tafawa Balewa.
Yes. So what happened then?
He didn't serve for long, just 2 years. Then he was eliminated. He right in his car.
Okay. The 1966 coup d'etat began on January 15th of January 1966, when senior Nigerian soldiers led by Chukwuma Kaduna Nzegu and Emmanuel Jr. killed 22 people, including Prime Minister of Nigeria. Many soldiers, many senior politicians, many senior army officers, including their wives and sentinels on protective duty. So the coup plotters attacked the cities of Kaduna, Ibadan, and Lagos, while also blockading the Niger and Benue River within a 2-day span of time before the coup plotters were subdued. So the general officer commanding the Nigerian army, Johnson Agorin-Rosie, was compelled to take control of the government of the country in upheaval, inadvertently putting Nigeria's nascent democracy on hold. So his ascendancy to power was seen conspiracy by the coup plotters, who were mainly Igbo officers, to pave way for General Agorin-Rosie to be head of state of Nigeria. Consequently, a retaliatory event by northern members of the Nigerian army that led to the death of many Igbo soldiers and civilians called the Nigerian Civil War. So, the topic we're looking at today is how to prevent military from taking over. So definitely it is good that we look at the history of such events in Nigeria and look at how I want to see if I can pick that up for you to see. Here's the first part. So, can you see this now?
Yes, sir.
So, say. So he said the 1966 Nigerian coup d'etat began on January 15, 1966, when mutinous Nigerian soldiers led by Chukwuma and Emmanuel killed 22 people, including Prime Minister of Nigeria, many senior politicians, many senior army officers, including their wives, and sentinels on protective duty. So the coup plotters attacked the cities of Kaduna, Ibadan, and Lagos, while also blockading the Niger and Benue River in a 2-day span of time before they were subdued. So if they were not subdued, it would have been more than what we see. Now, the general officer, and that was what led to the civil war. So the general officer, let me bring that up. The general officer of the commanding Nigerian Army, Johnson Agorin-Rosie, was compelled to take control of the government of the country in upheaval, inadvertently putting Nigeria's nascent democracy on hold. That is, democracy was suspended, and its ascendancy to power was deemed a conspiracy by the coup plotters, who were mainly Igbo officers, to pave the way for General Agorin-Rosie to be the head of state of Nigeria. So consequently, the northern members of the Nigerian army actually retaliated and led to the death of many innocent Igbo soldiers and civilians. This caused the Nigerian civil war. Yeah. So let's look at a few things more on that. In the aftermath of the coup d'etat, acting President Nwafor Orizu made a nationwide broadcast after he had briefed President Nnamdi Azikiwe on the phone about the decision of the cabinet, announcing the cabinet's voluntary decision to transfer power to the armed forces. Major General Agorin-Rosie then made his own broadcast accepting the invitation on 17 January Major General Gwenrosi established the Supreme Military Council in Lagos and effectively suspended the constitution. So it doesn't follow any constitution. Then casualties now. Regarding the casualties, the coup conspirators claimed their forged those coup d'etat members or supporters of the anterior regime and had been targeted for purely political reasons instead of being a racial purge focused on certain ethnic groups or clans. Furthermore, they also claimed the list of people targeted was small and composed of only 8 people. Half of them foreigners who were arrested, not killed, and that casualties had occurred as a collateral damage of the coup. That is, all the people they killed is unintentional. So these claims were clarified by a member of the trio that formed the coup, Adewale Ademoyega, who published them in Nigeria in 1981 in a book titled Why We Struck Outlining Their Reasons. Why we struck outlining their reasons and motivations, in which he mentioned that there was no decision at our meeting to single out any ethnic group for elimination. That was what caused the war. You understand?
Yes.
So our intentions were honorable, our views were national, and our goals were idealistic. Even those earmarked for arrest were 4 northerners, 2 were westerners, and 2 were easterners. Let me now say below this is a comprehensive list of the casualties from the coup. So the Prime Minister as Abubakar Tafawa Balewa, the Premier Ahmadu Bello, Premier Samuel Ladoke Akintola, Finance Minister Festus Ofotie, then Ahmed Ben Musa, that's Bello's Senior Assistant Secretary for Security, then Hafsatu Bello, Mrs. Latifat Ademulegu, Darumi Sardauna, Ahmed Patek, Bello's driver, and the military and police that were part of the casualties. We have Brigadier Samuel Ademulegu. We have a list of them that were just casualties apart from the main target. That is where we're going to be rounding up the class for today. So if you see in exam any question relating to military or how to prevent them, we are referring to how to actually prevent a recurrence of a recurrence of coup that happened in 1966. Okay.
Yes.
So that's where we're going to be ending. By Monday or so we'll have the review. So please make sure you are always finding time to download and watch this. We're going to help in preparation. Okay, so bye. All right.